Serving up a warm dish of the Triad's culinary fare, here's your weekly helping of food, news, and views. This is the man who ate the town.
Hey folks, and welcome to episode 227 of the Man Who Ate the Town podcast. This is for the week of January 31st through February the 6th, 2022. My name is Tim Beeman, and I am opening the recipe trunk. I'm recording this episode of the Man Who Ate the Town in the Less Desirable Studios in the Lab at Industry Hill. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcatchers like Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or any others like that, we'd appreciate a like, a follow, and a rating, and hit the subscribe button and the alert button so you know when the new episodes come out. It would help us tremendously, and if you're listening to us on the Triad Podcast Network, welcome and thank you. This episode of The Man Who Ate the Town is brought to you by Diamondback Grill. It's a casual dining location in the heart of Buena Vista here in Winston-Salem. It is a fantastic family-owned farm-to-fork restaurant that sources most of its ingredients from local farmers, and the ambiance is always amazing. I have several colleagues that I've sent to Diamondback for their company dinners and meetings and family outings. They are really that awesome. So go to 751 Avalon Road to find more about them. Find them on the web at diamondbackgrill.com and on Facebook and Instagram. To make reservations, call 336-722-0006. And of course, tell them that I sent you. Tell them that the Man Who Ate the Town sent you. Still even more right now, everybody's hiring. So if you know someone who needs a job, get a job. It turns out Brothers Pizza is back open for regular hours. Either the labor shortage issue was addressed or they're just pushing through, which I understand if it's either one of those. I hope they got the issue worked out. Roar, the entertainment complex at 600 North Liberty Street, is open somewhat. Two concepts, the Blue Crab and Joey Carell's, are open, as is the Beer Wall. Blue Crab is a fast counter service seafood, and Joey Carell's is street food, so burgers, chicken tenders, and things like that. And the wall of beer, I think there were 20 to 25 taps on the wall. You hit the QR code or whatever on the sensors, and you pour your own beer right there. They hosted dueling pianos this past weekend. I think it went over well from what the pictures look like. I was looking and didn't see any hours of operation, so I contacted my contact over there, and they said they're open Monday through Thursday from 5 to 10 for food and 5 to 11 for the bar. And on Friday and Saturday, 5 to 11 for food and 5 to 1 for the bar. You should all check it out. I enjoyed the food at the pop-ups at Sir Winston, so I hope that those are transfer over well to an everyday concept. They hope to have lunch hours soon. Still to come, Dragon Fruit Asian Fare, Zero Sai Piadini, which is like a panini or other Italian sandwiches concept, the upscale Italian Asst, and the upscale steakhouse JL Casper's. More to come as I find out more. Times Square Pizza, which I can go on record as saying this since they're no longer there, had one of the worst burgers on the tour when I was doing it last year. It's now called the Pizza Place. Now, before you smart asses out there start spouting, why would you go to a pizza place for a burger? Well, it was requested to be on the list, and I went there because that's what I do. I try the burgers that people, when I'm on my tour, I go to the places people suggest. It was kind of grody in there, really, and no one seemed to care that it was. I heard or read people really enjoying the pizza, but I never had the pizza because I didn't like the other parts that I had to deal with, so I can't comment on that. New owners, Nadine Carmelo and her mother. Nadine grew up in the biz. Her dad had a pizzeria outside Cornell University when she was growing up in New York, so excuse me, I don't know if they'll have burgers on the menu, but it has to be better than what Times Square pizza was. But people are saying that their pizza's pretty good. Bootleg Ramen is posting once again, and it looks like they're actually taking orders. Go to their Facebook page to find out more. El Patron Bar and Grill is now open in the Marketplace Mall, from what I can tell, in the spot that the Rhythm Lounge was in. I have reached out. I hope to hear the lowdown soon. I hope whatever issues were there for Rhythm Lounge that they had to escape it isn't the same issues for El Patron. Wicked Awesome Food Truck, or Wicked Awesome Foods food truck, is taking bookings for 2022 as they approach their season opening. If you're thinking about having a food truck for your corporate events or gatherings, I actually wondered if I could get a food truck for, like, I was going to have people over, and I mean, when I say people, like 20, 25 people or so, then maybe getting a food truck to come. I don't know if it'll be Wicked Awesome Foods, but you never know. If you are thinking of something like that, send them a message on their Facebook page or call or text 828-312-2628 for more information. Tell them that the man who ate the town sent you. This past Saturday, Stephanie and I made our own Burns Night Supper. And I'll talk about it in a bit with my guests for today, and I'm really excited about having them on. The Eat, Drink, Restaurant Week is coming soon. I will be a sponsor. I'll have more information when the time comes, which will be mid-March, because the event is scheduled to be the last week of March, first week of April, I believe. Check out the Go-To Winston-Salem, which was Explore Winston-Salem, an internet-based business to tell you all the cool and groovy things happening in our hometown here. They are on Instagram as The Go-To Winston-Salem and the web at thegotowinstonssalem.com. Christy Bellis is all over everything that's happening, so it's a great font of information. And, we did spin the country spinner this weekend. Stephanie and I did. Football season is almost over. We know who's in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. That will be over. So the following Sunday, maybe we'll jump back into some country cooking. We drew Armenia for our new country. Yemen went back onto the list. Armenia does borrow culture, but they have a lot of homeland-based dishes that I would be very interested in trying. Street Team Steven sent me a link with a good bit of Armenian cuisine items, and I look forward to diving in for that. All right, now it's time for Getting in Your Business, and today we're going to talk with three people, two of which are directly involved with one of my absolute favorite places in town. And when I say that, I'm not saying it because I go there a lot. That's why I go there a lot, but I'm not saying it because they're sitting in front of me. I'm not saying it because I have a man crush. I'm not saying it for any other reason than it truly is one of Stephanie's and my favorite eating places in town. And that is the Katharine Brasserie and Bar. And with us today, we have Chef Eric Brownlee, Mark Patykewich, and we also have with us Eric's wife, Morgan, who's in the studio and did not know she was going to be on the microphone. But as I've always said, anyone that comes in here, they don't get off scot-free. So let's have a conversation. Welcome, guys, to the show.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks for having us on today.
Absolutely.
Really excited to be here.
Hi, Tim.
Hi. So I'm going to back up and talk about November 20th, 2021. I've talked about that probably ad nauseum on this podcast, but you know what? It's my podcast, so shut the hell up and listen. It was my birthday. And in September, before that, September the 2nd, I told Chef Eric that I wanted him to French the shit out of me. He says, and he did. And then he says, I could have done more. I'm like, really?
We could have gone for probably another hour or two, I believe. But
yeah,
those are probably the most well-received, best instructions I've gotten in my culinary career, I think, was when you instructed me to French the shit out of you.
Yes, I wanted you to French the shit out of me. And so I said, well, here we go. My birthday's on a Saturday. I can get a bunch of people in here. Let's do it. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, and there was a little tongue involved too, if I remember correctly.
There was some Frenching going on. Yeah, I liked it. It was beef tongue, but
yes.
and the thing is I knew what it was, and one person overheard either Eric's Carpenter or Mark say what it was to me. But they ate it anyway. But I waited to tell anybody what it was until they were all, how's that tongue? What?
That's the best way to serve tongue, is to serve it and then explain halfway through what exactly it is.
Well, because everybody thinks it's just going to be chewy and gross.
It's not at all. It's tender and delicious, and one of the richest parts.
It's what some of the most beef flavored that you're going to get.
It is, yeah. And the health benefits of it are surprisingly awesome as well.
Is it lean?
Lean is not for ounce per ounce or gram per gram. It's one of the highest proteins you can get out of the cow. So in that aspect, it is a lean protein, yes. But just like all the other things, it's high in as far as iron and minerals and various vitamins, and it's also an energy booster, and some would even say it has the aphrodisiac effect as well. So.
Right on. Well, it is a tongue. I mean, that's not being facetious. That's true.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you sent out the whole head of the.
I saved that for last.
Yeah,
the pig's head.
Yeah, the pig's head. That was good.
Suckling pig.
Yes, and we cut off the cheeks and
the cheeks, the jowls.
Yeah.
Might have been a little tongue in there still too, but a little crispier.
Yeah.
I think Eric and Mark, did you guys help present the head?
Yeah, they brought it up.
Eric Carpenter did, and but I heard it was quite the reaction, and it's a statement piece.
And people were gathering around, and most of the people there were not shying away from it, because I told them going in, I said, now look, this is going to be a true, as close as we can get to French here in this town. I said, so I want everyone to be open-minded, and you may get something that ordinarily you wouldn't eat, but my request, my birthday gift from you, is to at least give it a shot. Taste it. If you don't like it, then absolutely don't eat it. But you don't know until you try. You might have this thing in your mind that, I don't like that. Well, how do you know? Have you had it? No. And I made sure that, with the exception of the pilot's wife that I mentioned in the pregame, she did not, because she heard what the tongue was. But everybody else went ahead and ate it, and then I told them what it was, and they're like, huh. And one person said, you're kidding, right? I said, I kid you not. Okay, but...
And that speaks to the preparation. I mean, the way that Eric put it forth. Like you said, if you didn't know going into it that it was tongue.
It didn't look like tongue.
It's a piece of braised beef that had that beautiful texture to it. So
yeah, because you go to like Campari Foods or something where they have tongue laid out, it looks like a tongue.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, very much so.
And it definitely looked like a tongue when I started.
Yep,
as well. But what did I serve that with? I don't remember. I remember the milk-fed suckling pig. That was 2 courses for that. I took some pictures, but it was fun. It was about 8 or 9 courses. We just kept going and going. So
let me see if I can pull up what it was, because you had sent me, or Eric Carpenter had sent me the menu.
I didn't do anything too crazy. I didn't have any sweetbreads or any brains or anything on there. So
yeah, I was kind of disappointed in.
But I'm
kidding. I was not. I was not disappointed in any of it.
I just dipped my toe in the water on that one.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
But you have a good set of friends. They're adventurous eaters, and obviously they trusted you, and you guys trusted me. So
I made sure that again they knew what they were getting into, and it was such. They loved every bit of it. They really took to it, and we have a lot of culinary conversations. We eat a lot together.
It was an intimidating crowd for sure.
Yeah.
As a chef, from my perspective.
Right.
So.
But you shouldn't have been intimidated because we were very easy. Give us a little bit of wine or a whole lot of wine.
Yeah,
Maybe a little bit of wine that evening.
We had a shit ton of wine.
Paced it out that way. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. And so I tell everybody, we started at 6 p.m. That was our reservation time. We got the check at 11:15. So that was ample time, A, to get drunk, and two, to have a fantastic meal. And Izzy played along too. She and I play a game where when she's serving me now, this is our new thing. Let's see if Tim can guess what's in this beverage. And so she's like, all right, she'll tell me what it's called. And I'm like, I taste gin. I taste this. I taste something else. She goes, man, you're good. And this was after I'd had a lot.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I like to break it down whenever, I like to know what all these things taste like by themselves.
That's the fun of it too. And coming from our side, from a beverage, from my standpoint, from a beverage program, and from Chef's standpoint, from a culinary, it's really fun to break dishes, break cocktails, break wines down to that point so that we can play even more. I'm asking Chef when he's building a dish, how much cumin, like that influences everything else. So it's that analytical mindset to me is so much fun, and I love that you share that.
Yeah, it was fantastic. She says, you're impressive. I would say that, and she actually told me she thinks I got about 75% of them right all night.
That's impressive.
Very impressive.
Yeah, because I had a lot. I had more than anybody else because they were feeding me more and more.
You're the birthday boy.
I
We had
was.
to.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the time, Morgan might be able to elaborate on this a little better based on my lack of remembering it properly, but we were tasting the subtle nuances between different gins that we were tasting neat when we were at the Food and Wine Festival in New York, and you can only taste straight gin so long to see if you could tell the subtle differences between them before.
He can't remember because we are not ones that taste neat drinks, but we went there and it was the New York one. It was giant, and we just decided to go all in. So by the end, we were sipping on cordials that we never have, whiskey. We knew it was gonna end with a.
And I was trying to explain the different nuances in the gins between the subtle layers of juniper mixed with. Couldn't even tell you what.
Right.
Anymore.
So it became hard to discern between gin and the floor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah. Not too many layers there.
But all for research, for a good cause.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's what food people do.
Exactly.
That's why I love my job. So you have a new menu coming out.
It's in the works. Yeah, the spring one's in the works.
It's in the works, but can you give us a hint of what might be coming?
So you're going to see a lot of more cheese and charcuterie to choose from. Right now, we mainly just do a solid cheese program, and you only see our charcuterie for special events. We see them in the Globes now, which I think Mark might talk about a little bit later.
Sure.
So we kind of started revealing it a little bit for the bar menu. So we opened the bar a little earlier, so you can see it there now, and we got these custom boards made locally that say the Katharine on, and they're from a local woodworker, which he used to be a chef too. Beautiful work. So there's going to be a lot of that. I'm going to rotate different French and local charcuteries. You're going to see stuff from North Carolina, a lot of hickory nut gap, and then stuff we're going to bring in from Europe as well. And then with the spring stuff, you're going to see more vegetables on there. I know you don't want to talk about asparagus.
Right, no asparagus ever.
But it's it's spring though, so some people like it, Tim.
No, I understand some people do. I'm not anti-asparagus. I'm anti-Tim eating asparagus. I'm anti me going to the bathroom for 3 days afterwards.
Yeah, seriously. Well, that's how I knew that your birthday was successful, because you came back for brunch in the morning. So
The next morning.
Yes, I
Little
did.
Chicken and waffles the next day.
Yes, I did.
I'm gonna lean into some more Vietnamese influence dishes for spring. Just personally, as a chef, I'm drawn to more of like the fresher herbs and like the lighter ingredients and the play they already have, because there's a strong influence obviously in Vietnamese cuisine with French food anyway, and I think it translates well to springtime and honestly with healthier trends, and where they're headed, where like a lot of the Vietnamese food, the preparations and with French food can be a lot healthier and lighter for spring as well. And then I'm gonna see if I can push the envelope a little bit with things like rabbit this year.
Awesome.
Last year I did it for Easter and it was very well received. It's very French. It's a solid protein that you really can't get around here. So you might see a little de lapin on the menu soon.
Well, I know that the dish itself is German, but Will Kingery here in town, who owns Willow's and King's Crab Shack, when he was the actual executive chef at Six and Vine when they first opened, he made Hassenpfeffer.
Really?
And I've never had it. Even he has never replicated that, and I would love for someone to do.
Okay, all right. So we can look into that for sure.
Okay.
I should probably talk to him about that first too, honestly.
Okay.
Because
You know Will?
I don't know him well enough for him to probably give me a recipe, but I think he would definitely discuss it with me. So,
I can make that introduction.
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a great chef, and obviously all his restaurants are awesome.
He's still sometimes voted best chef in the area, and he's not actually been a chef for like 4 years.
That's how you know you're doing it right.
You know you're that good.
Yeah.
So,
So,
our dessert.
go ahead. No, you go.
We're gonna expand our dessert program more. Right now, we just run a few furniture items, basically, that are delicious, solid French desserts. But we're gonna start adding some more features in there to it as well, and same with like entrees and appetizers also.
I have to say, the pot de crème is the perfect combination of the kind of bittersweet chocolate taste.
It's got all five going. Yeah.
with the creaminess in there and the perfect amount of salt. That when you bite into that and you get all the chocolate, you get some of the cream, you get 2 or 3 crunches of that flaky salt,
Big Maldon smoky sauce.
Yeah, and I'm like,
One of those rare perfect bites.
I don't think I'm going to change that. I think I'll keep that on there.
you should.
Oh, yeah.
There's a couple dishes that are going to stay on there for a while until until I figure out how to make it even better. So
That's for desserts. You're not changing the tartare, are you?
no. The only thing that honestly, and I think I mentioned this before, and I don't know how many people I want to admit this to, but if you add a little bit of sharp cheddar cheese to that tartare dish, it tastes like a Big Mac.
Does it?
Really?
Yeah. But better, obviously.
Yeah, of course, because
Significantly.
Big Macs suck. But the next time I'm there, we'll have to experiment with that.
Yeah. Cat's out of the bag now, though.
Get a whole lot of requests for it next time.
Yeah, well,
after this comes out.
Good. I would eat it for lunch. I would. Well, speaking of lunch, that's another thing we're going to start expanding on and really taking a harder look at and trying to refine as our lunch menu. So,
because you are a hotel restaurant.
We are a hotel,
and that's not. In the past, that could have been a bad thing because people think of hotel restaurants, they think of a Holiday Inn with Howard Johnson's or something tacked to it, and I'm like, this is not what that is. This is because I've stayed in hotels in France. This is like what that is.
Yeah. A lot of that is the company that we work for, also the Kimpton.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's their thing, is where the restaurant should be a standalone restaurant separate from the hotel that kind of fits in with the community and the concept of everything, and so we're able to do that, but we don't have to focus on just the hotel or things like that. So
with the lunch thing, the point I was making was people from the hotel, or there are residents who live in that building who might work from home, need to come down and have lunch. They don't have to leave.
Exactly.
If they have a decent lunch, and probably get it brought to them. But I watched Izzy Friday night take a lot of trays back to the elevator.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, it's if you've got a beautiful hotel like ours upstairs and the residences as well, and food like Eric's, it's beautiful and wonderful as the ambiance in the Katharine is, there's something really wonderful about getting to take that upstairs and do that in the privacy of your guest room.
Yeah. And those rooms are fantastic. Yeah,
They are.
A lot of people feel safer, obviously, too. For obvious reasons right now, that they would prefer to kind of just,
it's all in one.
get to eat restaurant food, but not have to go sit in the middle of a restaurant. So
Right, absolutely. So when do you foresee the rollout of that menu?
March, second week of March.
Okay.
Yeah,
Stephanie's birthday is the 12th. We might have to come try that.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're gonna see some sneak peeks here and there. I run specials, so there's something without asparagus on that I think you might be right up your alley. I'll send you guys a little invite to come on over and try out a dish.
Well, even if it has asparagus on it, she likes that.
Yeah.
So she can eat that. I just won't eat the asparagus part. Maybe we can throw some broccoli rabe or something on there. I don't know.
There you go.
I like stuff like that. Beets and asparagus really just tear me up.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, beets to me taste like I'm out licking the ground. And
I can see that. Yeah.
my family used to own a trucking company, so I hauled a lot of dirt. I don't want to eat it.
There you go.
And asparagus, I don't hate asparagus flavor. I hate the effects of it. And I don't like asparagus flavor. So if it's something, I don't have to put myself through that
It's not worth it.
twice. Yeah, I don't have to have it bad on the front and the back end of it.
Makes
Or
sense to me.
the other front end. I don't know how that goes. But I just, asparagus. And it's opposite. It used to be I would not eat an onion. My Michael Hastings from the paper has me quoted several years back, no onions ever.
Really?
And now I look for things to put onions in.
Wow.
So asparagus.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, I love onions now, but the asparagus is the exact opposite. I started off not caring one way or another, and now I absolutely hate it. But everything else, I didn't eat tomatoes. I didn't eat onions. I was, my growing up was peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and that was about it.
We've come a long way. I'll tell
Oh,
you
yeah.
that,
Yeah.
Asparagus is your only avoidance out there. Then good for you. That's good.
Yeah, and my joke is if I can't pronounce it, I want to eat it.
There you go.
So that means that usually that I'm either somewhere that foreign, or I'm at a place that specializes in exotic cuisines or international cuisines, and I love that stuff. My parents, I grew up with parents who would cook the shit out of stuff. I mean, steak. I always thought I had to have ketchup A1 and Heinz 57 and Worcestershire sauce all at once because it was shoe leather.
You had to reconstitute it.
Give it a little bit of juiciness.
Yeah, and it was bad. And I've kind of gotten them back, but I eat my steak now rare.
Yeah.
The proper cut, the proper.
Exactly.
It's not all steak is supposed to be rare.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Or none of it's supposed to be rare. It's usually medium rare, I think, is what the stuff is, but the temperature recommended. But I'm like, I want to taste the meat. The longer it's on the grill, I'm tasting that grill.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I don't want to taste the grill. I want to taste the animal that sacrificed itself for my happiness.
Yeah. I mean, some things should cook a very long time from a cow, but
Like tongue.
they like tongue.
tongue.
Exactly. Yeah. Like tongue, like the tail. But steaks, you gotta eat, and each cut is different, like you said. You gotta cook it a different way.
Yeah.
But so more focus on lunch. You'll see more soups, more sandwiches. Right now it's kind of a build your own kind of lunch, and it's going to be more of a composed, refined menu. So it's going to be good.
Really excited for that.
Yeah,
Awesome.
dessert soup. So then breakfast is going to get a redo shortly also. So kind of just bring it all into season and up to speed. And fortunately, I have Mark now, and he his love of wine, and Eric, and they're like he said earlier, he just asks questions about the dishes that normally only I would even think about. So I think you're going to see some really good pairings, and the bar program is taking off. So it's a good spring. 2022 is looking good.
Yeah, really excited.
I mean, with a restaurant like yours, in the environment that it's in, the decor, the upscale aspects, it could be easy to just let the bar be what it is. And that's the thing about the Katharine, is I've never gone in there and felt, well, these are just run-of-the-mill drinks that's, that somebody put together because they felt like, oh, we can get away with it because we look good and we have the decor and people like being here. Maybe you could, but you don't. And that's the beauty. And
that's not, I think, my philosophy and the rest of the leadership team on the front of house side's philosophy is I don't want to settle. I think, and Eric as well in the kitchen, when you've got beautiful, composed, well thought out dishes being presented to our guests in that way, the cocktail program, the wine program, the beer program, it all has to match and be just as intentional as Eric is being, from months ago when he started thinking about the spring menu. So we're really lucky. Our bar manager, Justin Rankin, is extraordinarily talented cocktail creator, and it's fun to get to watch him and his team play with spirits. And we're working really closely right now with Knob Creek. We have our own barrel selects coming. We spent some time a couple weeks ago tasting through a number of different barrel samples to decide which one we wanted to be ours. So that'll be coming sometime in the spring as well.
But that wasn't fun at all, was it?
Not at all. And it's amazing. And again, having studied spirits and wine and all the likes, it's, you read about these things, but then when you're actually tasting the barrel from the top left corner of the barrel house versus the bottom right corner, it's extraordinary. And so we found, the bottle that we thought fit. We're going to be rolling out a signature Sazerac to go along with it. That'll be a really fun way to showcase our bar team's ability to execute those classics. But they're already working on really, fun, innovative ways to use what we've got to showcase first off, their talents, but also complement what's coming out of Eric's kitchen, which is really fun. And we're working with the wine program as well to match it. I think making sure that each offering, whether it be by the glass or by the bottle, has a dish in mind. Eric Carpenter and I sit together tasting with our, local reps, and we'll look at each other and say, that's the duck. And then that one gets a check mark next to it for something that we can place.
So my very good friend Jax.
Yes, I love Jax.
Who doesn't love Jax that knows Jax?
One of the most well-loved people and some of the most well-loved vodka in the area.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So I think that also speaks to what makes the Katharine special, is that, like I said, that in an upscale situation like this, it could be that just, okay, we have what we have in the bar. We have really good food, but okay, you take care of the food, you love the food, you embrace the food, you in your team, Mark and Eric Carpenter, you make sure that there's a complimentary aspect and not just, we do damn fine drinks and he does damn fine food, but do we have damn fine sorry about that. Do we have damn fine cooperation? And I believe that the Katharine Brasserie and Bar absolutely does have that.
And that's one of those myths or legends in the industry that I absolutely hate. It's that there's a divide between front and back. I think this all works better when we're together, operationally, but then you get to places culinarily and from different program standpoints that I want a guest to leave wowed. Eric's food does that, and I think bringing the extra element of a beverage program that also does that, and a little bit of education. There's things on the menu that I have, admittedly, I've been around food for a long time, that I have to look up when Eric gives it to me, and that's very cool for my own furthering and continuing education. But then to be able to share that with our guests too, and say, hey, this is what Eric's doing, and this is the wine, and whoever thought to, that classic champagne and fried chicken, we're doing something with that for Valentine's Day, for Galentine's around those weekends. That's one of the most mind-blowing pairings, and to be able to share that.
Champagne goes with everything.
Everything. But fried chicken in particular, for me, that one just sings, and it's getting to share that with folks and expose our community to that, and it's transformative. It's, it can transport you somewhere else, which is, I think, we get to do in our little restaurant is go to Paris every night.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Paris is my favorite city, so that's my escape. And I have to correct you on that. He does not have wow factor food. I'm just going to say that. It's hard to say wow when you're speechless.
Wow.
You guys you're way too kind to him.
No, I'm totally serious.
But
I've had your cooking. We're not lying.
Right.
But I mean, honestly, I feel like we're just getting started. I mean, like Mark said, we don't want to sit on our laurels, but I feel like we're not even there yet. I feel like we're just now finding our feet and kind of going in the direction that the Katharine was meant to go in. I mean, his biggest point is everything is with purpose and intention. It's not just happened that like some of the drinks work well with some of the food. It's that he specifically, and they worked hard on that. Him and Eric and Megan and Justin. You know, they ate the food, they thought about it, they tasted different drinks, and new restaurants are going to open, and they're going to be good, and we need to be good, and we want a destination dining area in West Salem. We don't want it to just be the Katharine. We want the whole community to embrace different foods and intentional cooking.
You have an absolute fabulous one getting ready to happen in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, I know,
and with that, the whole, rising ships, high tide brings all the ships, whatever that damn saying is.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying about it will add to, especially that you're in close proximization to them, close proximity. That way that there is, if they're staying in the Kimpton Cardinal, which I recommend that you do, if you stay in there and one night have dinner at Katharine, the next night go right down the hill. You're right behind where 600 Degrees is going to be.
Yeah.
And the other ones in the area too. I'm not just pointing out you too, but that's what I love about this town is that we are close, and there's a working relationship. Whereas other towns like Greensboro and Raleigh, there's a competition. And of course there's competition because there's only so many dollars.
Exactly.
And you want them. However,
we need to have a community.
There is certainly a culinary community in Winston-Salem. In other towns, it is every man for himself. And that's another reason that I love Winston. And Winston, I have to admit, has a shortfalling on the international cuisine. People think here that it can only be Italian, Thai, Mexican, or Southern, and
French.
Well, French now.
And
that's what
we're doing, Chef.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing is bringing the true, at least spirit of France.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm trying to bring the more authenticity, but
right.
And I think the diversity that 600 Degrees down the hill, and the Katharine and all of these really wonderful restaurants, diversity culinarily is going to be so big into what's going to drive this city forward. I mean, when you've got chefs like Travis and Eric and the likes, it's they're getting recognition. I don't think the recognition that they deserve, but this is going to be a spot to come eat. Say it, come stay at the Katharine or Cardinal and eat at the Katharine, eat at 600 Degrees, try what this, some of the best pizza in the country is in our little city. And,
right.
That's right. Yeah.
I think it's really cool to be a part of. I know we both come from bigger markets. I'm a New Yorker, and
You don't sound like it.
I have worked very hard for a very long time to have a very neutral accent.
Yeah. I noticed you don't use the F word like a comma. That's right.
Again, family from Staten Island. I had to work really hard to tone that all down. But I will speak for myself. I'm a dime a dozen in New York, and in Winston-Salem, though, it's fun to have the opportunity to be a part of a community that we're, Chef and Travis, and I could keep naming folks, but we're pushing a food culture forward here, which is really in teaching, education, and it's super fun to have that opportunity to have that impact on a community.
So Morgan, do you get to try all these outstanding. Does he practice on you at home?
100%. Yeah, we've been together for 16 years, and I can't cook now. You know, at the very beginning, there's probably a time that it would have happened, but no, he spoils me all the time. I don't even know. I love food so much. I love the dining experience so much. Sometimes I feel like I'm the one that pushes our restaurant when we travel. I'm obsessed about all the meals, and I don't know what I would be if I wasn't able to have the food that I have. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm very
experimented the oxtails the first time she had those last night, I believe.
Yeah, fun.
So,
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
I love the flavor. It's just too much work.
Even though I do feel like I've had oxtail in like ramen noodle dishes. I feel like that's become very popular, but
yeah.
no, it was delicious. But yeah, I am very lucky, and I know it. And I found that every single person that has come in contact with Eric feels the exact same way that you guys feel. Yeah.
I cook at home a lot for, like, I don't know if it's therapy or meditation or what, but yeah, so sometimes she'll end up on the proper end of that. You know, I think there was a 12-course duck tasting once I did, just to, you know, just to help myself relax one day. So
How is that? This is, I guess.
I go through phases a lot too.
So how is that? I guess the therapeutic part is not having to cook for 300 people.
Exactly. Yeah, I could take as much time as I want. It doesn't matter. I can. It's only myself and my wife I'm cooking for. So.
And close friends that you invite over.
There's no. Yeah, it's more of just.
There's a reason why my family likes coming over.
Yeah.
It's like my adult coloring. You know, it helps me just get it out and kind of.
It's your fidget spinner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just, you know, so it works out well. It just goes on for hours sometimes.
Yeah, the time is the difference. You can bust out the same dish at work in 20 minutes, but then it will take like 3 hours.
Yeah. I'll wake her up. It'll be like 3 or 4 in the morning. I'm still going. I'll wake her up and she'll eat 3 or 4 more bites. Go back to sleep. That's true. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I'll go through phases. I went through open fire cooking phase for a while. So I'll experiment with that. So sometimes it can get a little monotonous, I would imagine, for her. But
never.
But
Eric, I could have the same shit from you over and over and over and never get tired of it.
Thank you.
I mean, it could be the same thing every day, 7 days a week, and I would be like, damn, that's good.
Yeah.
Tartare is dinner for me most nights, so it doesn't get old.
Yeah.
So. Well, but I keep moving on though. You know, I like to keep moving forward.
Oh yeah, I mean,
changing it up.
you have to experiment and you have to do stuff, and I guess when you're at work, then it's hard to get time to do that because people are asking questions, people are expecting.
Oh,
you to help
totally different type of. Yeah, I mean, I have a team to lead, and that can be way more challenging than any other aspect of my job sometimes, and that just requires a lot of attention on its own, and then obviously I have to worry about so many other factors of what goes into cooking and the business of it, and all the monetary things that go with that. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff when I'm at home.
Right.
Or just pushing the envelope more. We discussed it like you can only.
Yeah, I can push it
area,
hard at home.
Yeah, you can only go so far with certain things. I used to joke the trends, in California were like 2 years behind in the East Coast in certain areas, but it's shortening. At times, it's exciting.
Well, you're getting better chefs that are showing up on this side of the country,
and people that are more adventurous, that like more food, that we're teaching, that have a better. I mean, you can have the most amazing chef in the world, but if you don't have any way to serve that food and you don't have the experience, and it's not gonna blow up.
Exactly.
And an more open mind too. We need guests that want to try things that they've not tried before, like you were saying earlier, and we're definitely seeing that, which is really awesome and lets us have more fun and play.
Awesome. We talked about this last time I think I was on about how sometimes I'm afraid to put some of the other things on the menu because
you mentioned that.
Yeah. So, but we're getting there little by little, and I think we made some progress since last time. So.
Well, I get this a lot when people talk to me about my job, and I wish I had your job, or if you need any help with that. And I know I mentioned this, and most people think that it's in jest. If you need a guinea pig for testing new stuff out, I have a good palate, I think, and I can just try and go, ooh, or oh yeah,
there you go, right?
Yeah, so. I volunteer my services, and I don't charge anything for that.
You might have to come to the house. Well, you might have to come to the house because that's where I relax at, and I can really get deep into the different flavors and layers of things. And
have a dram of something and go about our business.
There you go. Yeah.
Right on. Now, speaking of drams, let me tell you about my Burns Night dinner that I made on Saturday.
All right.
Burns Night was actually Tuesday, the 25th. That was Robert Burns' birthday, who was the poet, national poet of Scotland.
All right.
And he's the one who wrote Auld Lang Syne. The words, anyway. That we and I never have understood what any of those damn words mean, and I never sing along because I'm like, what is this? I don't know. But anyway, we got married. My wife and I got married in Scotland. So I am Scottish and Irish and British all together. So I like to do what I can to follow up on some of that stuff and follow the traditions the best I can. But I work on Tuesday nights, and it's hard to do it whenever it comes around. So I made a cockaliki soup,
Okay.
which turned out very, very well. I made haggis, which I bought from a Scottish gourmet shop in Greensboro.
Did not know there was.
I was about to say, wait,
I did not know that happened.
Yes.
So that's the most crazy part of the story so far.
Seriously.
Yeah. So I can give you an address. They're not open on the weekends, but they do have a catalog that you can order online or
I love
mail order. So, and I made the neeps and tatties with that and a whiskey sauce. And we had salmon on oat cakes. And
So I think this referred to as you Scottish the shit out of yourself.
I Scottish the shit out of myself. I did. The haggis, because it's illegal to ship it from the UK into the United States.
Yeah.
It has to be made here.
Okay.
So it was made some place called Hamilton Farm.
Okay.
And I don't know where that is, but they bought it from there. In my freezer, I also have authentic blood sausage and white sausage. We have not
You like
torn
blood
into that.
I love blood sausage. Love blood
I
sausage.
have a friend that says, I will never eat that. I said, why? Do you like regular sausage? He said, yeah. I said, you know what's in that?
My sister loves bacon, but she won't eat pork belly.
That's,
I don't
It's a
even.
skinny pork belly.
Right, I don't even.
yeah. But,
I have a delicious saucion rouge on the menu right now,
Yeah.
made with it has pork heart and I think duck heart as well in it. And
I did not, is that on the menu now?
yeah, right now. Yeah, it's on the early bar menu.
Early
Go
bar
on.
menu.
Little sneak peek. That's what we're talking about. Yeah,
Okay.
should have brought you some. I'm sorry. Go on.
Yeah, I certainly want to try that.
Yeah.
Where in Scotland did you get married?
Edinburgh.
Oh, nice.
Actually, right outside in a place called Bonnyrigg
Yeah.
in Dalhousie Castle. Yeah, so
I think he'd love Scotland.
I think you would too.
Only been once, but it was amazing.
Yeah.
I was only there for 3 days and fell in love with the place.
Yeah.
And my recommendation for Scotland is you want it to be overcast. If it's sunny, everything's washed out.
Yeah,
If it's overcast, all the greens are lush.
Makes
It's
sense.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can be pretty cold there.
The day we got married, it was overcast slightly, and you see the pictures and everything is just lush green. Now we had a great photographer as well, but yeah. So the haggis, it was already prepared. It was already cooked. We just had to heat it up, which I rolled it in some. It comes in a tube. I rolled it in some tin foil and put it in a meatloaf pan, and
There you go.
and with a bit that much water and let it steam in the oven, and then the cockaliki soup. I just put a whole bird in there with shit ton of leeks and salt and some prunes and some onion, and then after about an hour, I took the bird out. I put it in the oven for about 10 minutes, let it crisp up a little bit, pulled it out, slathered honey all over the top of it, turned the oven off, put it back in there just to keep it warm and let the honey kind of crystallize.
caramelize.
And then tore the shit out of it, put some rice in the thing once I took the bird out, and poured it on there. And we actually had that not only Saturday, we had it last night too.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. because it made a lot.
So we could start trading up here. I would have brought you some of the oxtail stew, and we could have got some of the haggis. And
Yeah, we can work that out.
Yeah, seriously.
We need to make a
wine.
Yeah.
Or a
Right,
few.
there you go.
yeah. We need to make a date for
What
that.
would you drink with that, Mark?
With the cockaliki soup, I was thinking about it as I was going through it, but with the caramelization from the honey and the leek, I'm thinking Vouvray would probably be where I'd want to go with that. Just a little bit of sweetness, not a whole lot, just to play on the sweetness of the chicken, but big, beautiful acidity, just to kind of cut through the fattiness of it all. You know, I think that would just be fun. Again, I do better pairing when I walk through the kitchen and I go, hey, chef, give me a spoonful of this, and then you can really have fun with it. But that's where my mind went as y'all were explaining it. That the gears started turning.
Sounds like a group night.
I think it's an
Yeah.
experiment that we
Yeah.
need to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Dinner party.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And since my group, the ones that we did, we have a once a month supper club.
Oh,
So we started it in January. One couple, the one that sat beside me and my wife, across from each other, at that thing, hosted this month, January, because Paul, his birthday's the 9th, so we did his for his birthday. Susan, his wife's birthday is Super Bowl Sunday, so they're hosting for Super Bowl.
Okay. All right.
And then Stephanie's birthday's in March, so we're going to do the supper club for March at our house. And then it's scattered. There's 6 couples, 2 months, or 6 households, 2 months apiece.
That's pretty
And
good.
so you get a
That's
whole
great.
year of
That's
supper
great,
club.
That's
That's so fun.
And
So-
so we spread it up. The host chooses the theme
Okay.
okay.
with the main course, and it doesn't even have to be at home. We can go to a restaurant.
Yeah.
So it we had, what did we have? Ossobuco.
Nice.
Yeah.
We had that, and so I take
Saffron.
I don't remember what I made now, but I took it. I'll have to look and see, but I know I'm making my deviled eggs for the next one because it's pulled pork sliders.
Okay. Yeah, well, Super Bowl
That's
Sunday.
good Super
Yeah.
Bowl
Yeah, that's
food.
good
Super Bowl
yeah.
food.
Yeah.
So each one has a theme. So last one you did the Burns dinner and.
Well, the Burns dinner was just me and Stephanie.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that
that was
wasn't
just-
one of the supper. Oh, you
No.
just do that. That's just a Wednesday night
just
for
a-
you.
Yeah, that
I
was
like it.
that was just because we like to celebrate Burns
Right
Night.
on. Nice.
We couldn't read the thing, so we actually pulled up a video of someone doing the address to the haggis that has to be done, and then I have Ardbeg Scotch,
Beautiful.
because I like the campfire in a bottle.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was a little strong in the whiskey sauce that I put over the haggis with the neeps and tatties, but it was still it was still there.
So home run.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, shallots, cream beef stock or chicken stock's what I used, and so it was going with the leeks and
Absolutely.
cockaliki. And then the whiskey on top.
Can't go wrong.
It was all right.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
So what are some of the other themes you guys have done for?
I know in the past when we've done stuff with friends, Stephanie's birthday is the 12th of March, which is only 2 days from Pie Day. So we've done everybody bring a pie. It could be meat. It could be fruit. It could be tarts. It could be anything that resembles a cheesecake, anything that resembles a pie. And I don't know where it's going to go from there.
Okay.
I look forward to it because, again, whoever the host
Whoever that
household
says
is,
gets to come up with.
they get to come up with the stuff. So I don't know if I'm going to make my deviled eggs that I normally do, because I do a breakfast deviled egg, which
Little bacon
I fry the bacon up, pour the grease in the egg mixture,
Okay.
the yellow mustard, Dijon mustard, mayonnaise. Then I put maple syrup and orange juice in it as well.
All right.
And then I take freshly grated Parmesan, put it on one of those Silpat things,
Yeah.
and let it
Little
filigree
crisp.
itself up, and
Nice.
then pull it off. And then the bacon, I cut that up, so I put that on then a little sliver of the cheese in each one, and then some smoked paprika on the top of all that.
Man.
Yum.
Yeah. And Travis at 600
Right
degrees
with intention. In there.
He for my birthday one year we did it at Willow's when he was at Willow's, and he had his people make that. He said, "This sounds delicious. We're going to make it."
Seriously,
So
that sounds great. Yeah, how do you do?
he did. He did
a good job. He did a good
Yeah, that's where I got the idea, because it was Brent Andruzzi, his at the time his sous chef, that come up with the parm slivers,
Yeah, stick 'em there.
the
Yeah.
little filigrees
I like it,
of put it in there. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I like that. It's the only change that they made, and I adopted that into my own. So
Fun.
I like it.
yeah,
Deviled eggs are one of those things as a chef where it's like baking a cake, because not everyone, but it's a very common thing for people to make at home, that they have their own
everyone's
favorite
grandma's
recipe
got a
for, and
recipe.
everyone's got their own. So deviled eggs are one of those recipes where, as a chef, you kind of have to be able to take some hits on, Don't take it personal, because everyone's got their own. I'm sure you got your own twist on a deviled egg, don't you, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, I can't take credit for it, but I was dining at a restaurant, Tuomi, up in New York, and they did, so again, kind of a Vietnamese restaurant with a whole lot of French influence, but the only appetizer on his whole menu was a fried deviled egg.
Interesting.
And
Really?
so, hollowed out the egg white, rolled it in flour egg panko, and
Angels on horseback type of. Is that what that is?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. I've not heard that, but deep fried it and then piped in the filling, little crispy chili on top and crispy garlic and chili oil on top, and just
chili crisp, yeah.
wow,
Yeah, that sounds good.
so it's one of those. I love deviled eggs in general.
Yeah.
but just seeing like cool different iterations.
That's a cool one, yeah.
Fun, people getting creative.
And I've done that one for a couple years, and it's enabled me to play around with it and tweak some things here and there. And I like it when you can still taste the egg. That's
Yeah.
the point of a deviled egg to me. But the other stuff just adds a little hint of savoriness and sweetness and tartness from the juice and the syrup and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I do want to experiment with other deviled eggs, but I'm one of these weird people. I don't know if I'm weird, but I think I'm weird, that I don't want to waste eggs experimenting. That's why I don't experiment a lot, because I
Yeah.
feel like I'm just going to waste something, and I had to pay for that. So
I feel like you could still eat it. It's be edible.
yeah, I mean, it's just a hard-boiled egg, and so yeah, probably.
I like to do a mustard seed pickled egg, deviled egg. So
good.
after I soft boil eggs, I'll then make a mustard seed pickled egg out of that. Or red bean pickled egg, deviled egg is good as well. But
And you put a fried
I know you don't like beets, so I wasn't even gonna.
Well, but my mom,
But it gives it like a nice.
my mom pickles hers with beet juice, so they're always purple.
yeah.
I've only had one ever pickled egg.
I love pickled egg. I hate to say this because I know you don't like beets, but I love his pickled egg beets.
Red bean pickled
yeah,
egg.
Yeah.
Again, dinner
No,
party.
no dirt.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'll make my version of deviled eggs. You make yours.
Yeah.
Chef
That's
makes
one
his.
of those things. Everybody's got their own.
We'll have a deviled egg feast.
I like it. For
It'll be a lot
Easter's
of
coming
fun.
up. That'd be an Easter egg hunt.
Yeah.
It's a good little theme.
Yeah, yeah,
Easter egg feast.
yeah. Hey,
I kind of feel like it could be one of those things, how they have that macaroni competition, macaroni and cheese competition.
Yeah.
I feel like you could have a pretty epic deviled egg competition because everyone has a recipe.
Oh, everyone. I mean, new cooks, like first year cooks, like my whole career, everyone's got their own recipe already. Everybody got their own. Dishwashers they chime in, they pop out of nowhere. Servers walk by like you're doing it wrong. Yeah.
yeah. I want you to meet my son. I think I've talked to you about him before, but he'll be 20 in March.
Okay.
I'm sorry, in May, and he's right now at Providence.
Rhode Island.
Awesome.
No, Providence.
Oh, kitchen. Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
What was a culinary school? Because I went to Johnson
and Wales.
so I
Yeah,
think,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think Rhode Island.
Yeah. So he has been there. He was top of his class. He got the golden cutting board and all that stuff. But he has been there. He was on the catering team, but he may be moving to another restaurant soon, he says. So we'll see how that goes. But he's really good. I'm not saying that because I'm his dad. I'm saying that because everybody that I've talked to, even Chef Bacon,
Well, you would know. I think you would know.
Yeah, I do know. Actually, I'd never butchered a whole chicken before.
Yeah.
Not for the kakaliki. I did that whole. But we did a French stew of some sort, and it called for it to be, and I've never done that.
Yeah.
So he lives right next to me in my parents' old basement. So I'm like, do you know how to do this? And he's like, I do. I said, are you home? He says, I am. I said, come here a minute.
Perfect.
And he did it, and he's like, and you do this, and he's like looking at me the whole time. He's whacking at stuff. I'm like, oh, keep your fingers, son. But yeah, I just want you to meet him.
No, I definitely want to meet him. Yeah, I said that last time. I was sending him my way, but I'm gonna try to recruit him. So
Right. Yeah.
that's why. Yeah.
Yeah. But and that's okay if you recruit him.
Like I said, send him my way.
Yeah. I'm sure that he would work wherever is going to pay him.
Yeah.
So, he's motivated by money. Not necessarily lots of it, because you guys don't make a lot of money. But
No.
If you're in this industry for the passion of it.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, Chef Jeff Bacon, who carries a lot of culinary weight in this town.
Oh yeah.
He told me, he says, I wish I had about 4 more of him.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. Well, that's one of the best compliments
Seriously.
a cook can get is wishing that they were duplicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So one more thing, I want to hear about these globes.
Yes. So we just started them this, it was the 27th of January. We'll be doing them through the end of April. It's a really fun it's a fun way to use the patio that the Katharine has during the wintertime. And we've got 2 large, beautiful globes set up for up to 12 people. Eric does a spectacular charcuterie board and a dessert plate that goes up along with the reservation. And then just for booking the reservation, included with it is a bottle of Piper Heidsieck champagne. So kind of really play up the celebration and then, do something different. It's very different feel from dining in the Katharine. So it's a really, unique experience in a way to spend any night of the week. We're doing it 7 days a week.
So, if anybody knows me at all, and you guys might not know this about me, but I am a huge record collector. And we noticed that there's a record player. What kind of music is included in it says some on the thing on talk.com.
Yes.
It says vinyls, which is not a word, but it's.
I can make that correction.
But we were just wondering what vinyl was in there.
We have
And can we bring our own?
You're more than welcome to bring your own. We've got a whole, hodgepodge at the moment. We had some fun going to Underdog and picking through the
Official sponsor of the Less Desirables podcast, by the way.
fantastic. I'm happy that we name dropped them. It's where I go to buy my vinyl. But we went through, and there's everything from jazz to classic rock to some more modern stuff. I mean, we wanted to have something for everything. We've even got some classic Parisian music that we were playing in there when the first guest this past weekend walked in. So, but again, something for everybody, but you're more than welcome to bring your own if you want to tailor it to what you want to be listening to.
Nice. Yeah. Underdog, Jonathan is a dear friend of mine, and they are a sponsor of the Less Desirables. And yeah, he's very knowledgeable, but very quiet. And you'd never know this, if you spend any time in there, and he's kind of, timid. And his favorite music to relax by is Opeth and Septic Flesh and Cannibal Corpse and stuff like that.
All right.
He likes stuff that's screaming at him and about killing things. And then he says, okay, that brings me to my happy place. And now I'm back. And he can listen to everything, but that's his stuff.
That's fascinating.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I would not bring that to the
I
bubble.
don't know if it fits the globe, but
we have a selection of Parisian music ourselves. So we would definitely try to bring some of that and some other jazzy-like things too, just to see.
very fun.
I think it'd be fun to bring your own for sure. Yeah.
Is there an open vinyl fee?
I have, I'll let that one go this year. Next year we might start,
Spinning fee. Yeah.
exactly.
Spinning fleet. Yeah, exactly. So, for anybody who's under a rock and doesn't know where the Katharine Brasserie and Bar is, can you give them information on that?
Absolutely. So we are on the corner of 4th and Main in the R.J. Reynolds building. So it's the For those of you who don't know, it's the scale model that they built before they built the Empire State Building up in New York, and it's this iconic building in our skyline. We're lucky enough to occupy the first floor along with the Cardinal Hotel. So we're right there, but you can find out all of that information, also how to book the globes and just a reservation in general on our website, CatharineBrasserie.com.
Awesome. I do know that it used to happen. I don't know if it still does, but the Empire State Building used to send a Father's Day card.
I've heard that rumor. I've only been here for about 5 months. I've not
Okay.
made it through a Father's Day yet, but
All right.
that was a selling point.
They used to send one from
Very
the
cool.
New York Port Authority to there, because I think the Port Authority
Owns the app.
owns the So
Empire State Building.
It's definitely happened before. I don't know if it's a yearly thing or not.
We do.
but,
We have a plaque on the mezzanine, for marking the 50-year anniversary of the building.
Yep.
I think so. There's definitely a cool connection, and you don't feel, again, you feel like we were saying earlier, transported when you walk into that building. It's this
well, there's
beautiful Art
something
Deco.
about, especially if you're sitting at the bar,
Yeah.
there's something that you do not know from looking out or to the sides that you're in Winston-Salem.
Yeah.
You think you are somewhere else, big, like
Yeah.
But
it
definitely,
has a New York. I've never been to New York, but from what people tell, I've never been.
Okay. We
Yeah, I
was
feel like we gotta
we've
go
gotta
now.
change
Right now. I feel like we're like, let's
Why,
get on
I,
the plane right
I
now.
go there every year for
four
inspiration.
foodies and a New Yorker.
Right,
It's
I
you
know.
gotta do
We
it.
were supposed to go for my birthday in 2020, and we know what happened in 2020.
That's same with us in France and Paris and Champagne. So yeah, that's why.
We go to New York though, almost except with we love New York.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to go there. It was my 50th birthday, and
This
that
is my
didn't
40th.
happen.
That's where you go.
Now, is your favorite cuisine French cuisine?
Yes, I
Okay.
would say probably. Yeah, because let's face it, the Scottish are not known for their
No,
delicious
no,
cuisine.
no. I
They're
think you
known
pretty much-
they're known for cuisine, but it's not always the best.
I think
Yeah.
you pretty much made all their
Yeah,
top
I know.
hits,
Yeah, for
so to
sure.
speak.
Yeah.
For your Burns dinner. So.
Yeah, I'm a fan of French because I think of the experimentation and the diversity of it. My wife and I do a thing called a country spinner. We have every country in the world on a randomizer. It's a big Wheel of Fortune like thing. And we go through and we spin the wheel and we find a country that we didn't pick. It picks it for us.
That's cool.
And the first one we picked was Mauritius.
Oh.
So I found Mauritian recipes and made some stuff. We learned about the country, which was a lot of French and British and Indian stuff because that was all the occupiers.
Colonized, yeah. Mhm.
And then
French had a far-reaching.
yes, they did.
I call it the colonization, not the colonization, but the
Colonization.
colonization. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Then Malawi was next.
All right.
That was interesting. I enjoyed that. And then, of all places, we drew France next. And usually we try to go with 2 weekends.
Okay.
It'll expand now that football season's over in 2 weeks. We can get back to it, but it'll expand. I don't do it every weekend because that's a lot of not knowing what I'm doing and putting stuff together. If it was something I made all the time, it'd be different.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is testing stuff, and I don't want to spend my entire Sunday doing that.
No, and some of these recipes take a couple days.
God, yes.
It can get expensive. I mean, if it's a whole new realm of spices or
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
yeah.
I had to Amazon some stuff in for
Oh, yeah.
special
I bet you did, yeah.
special flours and all that stuff. No, I mean flour, FLOUR. But had to. I didn't. It was really a bouquet. But when we got to France, that was about 6 weeks. Because I'm like, I can't not do this. I made a French onion soup that I asked her, tongue in cheek, Friday when we ate there. I said, "Is it as good as mine?" She goes, "Well, there's a certain sexiness about watching your husband make it in your kitchen."
There is. There is. Yeah.
For
Goes a long
sure.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
She says, "But it's as good as this, maybe."
That comes down to the stock, you know.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
stock. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So I made that. I made. I have to look because it's been a while now since I've done that. And then we drew Yemen, and then football season hit, and I'm like getting back into it. I want something that's not so. I want something that's not so borrowed, and Yemen is really a lot of borrowed stuff from Saudi, Egyptian, Sudanese stuff, and the colonization stuff. So I chose again and ended up with Armenia.
All right.
And Armenia has a lot of native food. So I look forward to that. A friend of mine, Steven, who sometimes does some stuff with me on here, and I call him Street Team Steven because he's always out on the lookout stuff for me. He's world traveled. He works for a company that's based, or he did work for a company that was based in Israel. So he spent a lot of time in the Middle East and India and Southeast Asia. So he got a lot of
food all through there.
Yeah. So he always sends me stuff, and he can tell me history on all this stuff whenever I need
That's
it.
awesome.
And he sent me when I told him what we drew Saturday, he said, awesome. And he sent me this link to something. It had like 25 top Armenian cuisine or items or whatever. And I'm like, all right, it gives me a good start.
Yeah.
Plus, I'll do some research on my own. And if you have any Armenian recipes or anything like that, I would love to hear it.
I don't have any off the top of my head. But,
Can't say I know of any that come to mind either. I want to look into see what's classically Armenian now.
I have worked with Armenian cooks before, but I don't recall them really making any of their own like cuisine. So I might have to look to you. You might be one of the foremost authorities.
We might have to just we experiment together. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
First dinner party.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. We have to be part of 2 supper clubs.
Evening in Armenia.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Eric and Morgan and Mark, thank you guys so much for being here. This is the longest conversation I've had on this podcast with.
Are we recording?
Yeah. Yeah. So I really appreciate you guys being here.
It's a pleasure.
It was definitely
I told when Natalie was still part of the group here, I told her I want to be and I am probably the biggest fan in size, but I want to be your biggest mouthpiece. I believe, especially in you,
I appreciate
Chef Eric. I want to shout from the flagpole on top to everyone down below who will listen how awesome a job you and your team are doing, and I want to be the man who ate the Katharine, but I want to really have a partnership here with you guys that I can, anything you have, any specials that you have going on, anytime a menu change comes up, if you have globes, the next thing that you have that comes along, you want to talk about all that, or if you just say, hey, I made this really cool stuff, I want you to know about it, then that seat's open to all of you.
Well, awesome.
Anytime.
We'll definitely put you on that call list for sure. And you're way too kind with the compliments, honestly. And those need to go directly to our staff and our team. That
take them
make
back.
it possible for us.
Eric and I are lucky, and Eric Carpenter as well, that we've got such an amazing group of people supporting.
I thought it was cool. Did you work Friday night?
Yes, I did.
Okay, well, I didn't see you.
No.
And you didn't. I didn't see you.
I was downstairs.
But I saw Eric Carpenter.
Yeah, I was down. I was with Mark.
Yeah, we were the administrative side of our job.
Yeah. I saw Eric Carpenter, and I got to meet Megan.
Yes.
So, but I thought it was cool as we were sitting down, the guys in the kitchen were waving.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And someone said, I hear that they said, do you know who he is? And I'm like, I'm nobody. I'm nobody. I just want food. Okay. But I said, that's not why I'm here. I love the place and I love everything that comes from here.
Yeah.
And
I keep saying the same thing, Tim. So, you got to take it too. Right?
Okay.
We love getting to do this for
You're
you
the man.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love getting to share and explore. And
Yeah. And we will do more of it either in the restaurant or the other supper club that I'm part of now.
Yeah.
So I look forward to that.
Yeah. But no, we love cooking for you, just, because you enjoy it so much and I see your face and, when you're enjoying it and, and you go and you tell everybody about it.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So,
yeah. So let me go ahead and give, I had the duck.
No. Mm-hmm.
The outsides were crispy enough and the insides were done perfectly.
Nice.
The coulis on top and the leeks and all that stuff.
So good.
Beautiful.
And then of course I had the tartare because I refused to go there without having that at least once a trip.
So
and my wife had the salmon and the French onions.
That's a good dinner right there. That's a good dinner.
Very good meal.
Talking about the Globes earlier, there's an exclusive menu in the Globes that is more of a small plate style, and there's a I'm not gonna say a deconstructed version of the tartare. It's more of a constructed version of the tartare, where it's already have the same ingredients pretty much, except it's built on a canapé. So
Okay.
we didn't really talk about the menu in there at all, did we? Inside the Globe, how there's because you're not gonna be able to get like the full-on dinner menu in the Globe.
Yeah.
Because there's not like a dining room
It's
table.
not set
Yeah.
that way.
You're not
It's
gonna
more
want to eat a
lounge.
steak and stuff in there.
Right. Yeah.
Mussels, it's
You want hand food.
Yeah,
finger
yeah.
foods.
So there's a smaller exclusive menu just for that. But talking about the tartare, there's a new way to eat tartare in there now. So
Could not put the tartare on it. So
yeah,
Yeah.
They had to make the cut somehow. So
Yeah. Or the chop
yeah.
because it is chopped.
yeah, true.
Well, thank you all so very, very much. I have really enjoyed our conversation. And Morgan, I'm glad that you were able to be part of it too. And you guys, anytime you want, those seats are open for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Appreciate it.
Awesome.
The food holidays are sponsored by Mojito Latin Soul Food, your go-to Cuban and Latin-inspired restaurant. You need to go by and have what I have called my favorite sandwich in town. That's the Cubano. If boiled ham and Swiss and pulled pork on genuine Cuban bread is not your thing, then try the ceviche or the pork belly appetizers and try their grilled or fried chicken. Have the congri, which is yellow rice and beans with pork belly. All delicious stuff. Mojito Latin Soul Food does reservations. They do takeout. They have a rather large outdoor patio and deliveries. They do deliveries to surrounding businesses like Fiddling Fish, Broad Branch, and other places if they don't have another food truck already out there. And Mojito owns the Tuning Fork Provisions, so you can support Mike and his wife there. Check out their Facebook page and MojitoLatinSoulFood.com. Actually, I'm not going to do any holidays this week, only because my interview with Chef Eric, Mark, and Morgan went so long. That was a long interview, and I apologize for the length, but I thought it was a really good conversation. We learned a lot of stuff, and it was just fun. I love everything they're doing. If you couldn't tell from that interview, if you could not tell, or a conversation, I don't do interviews, that I love Chef Eric and everything that he's doing over there, then you didn't listen hard enough. Because I probably said it, umpteen million times, and he's probably like, all right, my butt's getting chapped from all the kissing of it. So I thank them again, Chef Eric Brownlee, Morgan Brownlee, and Mark Patykewich. Hope I said that right. The Man Who Ate the Town podcast is part of the Less Desirables podcast network. Along with this podcast, you can listen to the Less Desirables, the Beer Dads, Fan Interference, Beeswax Vinyl Daily, Wheeler's Dog, Asylum, Tales from the Darrow Diaries, Useless Things podcast, and coming in February, the Health Geeks Book Club podcast. If you like to know about healthy things but don't want to read those books, this is the podcast for you. Even though they won't be on the network until February, which starts this week, their first show will actually go up on Thursday. You can still find them on your favorite podcatchers, anywhere you find podcasts. This will be episode, I think, 60. I think they're up there. You can find all these podcasts, including the ones I mentioned earlier, and their latest episodes on our network website and directory, tldpodnetwork.com. You'll find all you need to know about our network of shows right there on that page. This is a reminder to all the listeners, and is just good practice, not just now, but for always. Wash your damn hands. Wash them. Wash them with warm water and soap. Wash with that soap for about 20 seconds or more. And if you don't know how long 20 seconds is, then sing along to this.
I'm so in love with you. Whatever you want to do is all right with me. 'Cause you make me feel so brand new.
The album Let's Stay Together, with the title track Let's Stay Together, was released by Al Green in 1972. So it is 50 years old today. Happy birthday to that album. It's a good album. One of the ones that I own, of course. So I would recommend it, listening to it. But if you don't know what 20 seconds is while you're washing your hands, just sing that first line. Pretend you're President Obama or somebody singing to his wife. I say that because he actually did. So keep an eye on my blog and this podcast to find out more about the food news and happenings around town. If you have any food news, send an email to tim@themanwhoatethetown.com. You can also contact us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter instant messengers. So just hit us up on one of those if you need us. Like us on Facebook. On Twitter, we are man_who_8thetown. On Instagram, we are man_who_8thetown. We invite you to call and leave a voicemail for the podcast or any podcast on the TLD network. You can call 336-422-6862. That's right, 336-422-NUM. 336-422-NUM. Leave us a voicemail and we'll play it on the podcast. Again, 336-422-NUM 6862. Again, I want to thank Chef Eric, Morgan, and Mark for coming in and talk with me today and talking to you guys. I cannot stress enough what an experience you will have at the Katharine Brasserie and Bar inside the Kimpton Cardinal Hotel. And I would also really highly recommend that you spend the night or more. Even if you live in Winston-Salem, which most of you do, we have stayed there 4 or 5 times and love that hotel. We're right in the middle of everything we need, but really it's everything you need. The hotel and the Katharine right there. It's an awesome thing. So my name's Tim. I'm closing the recipe trunk. Until next time, thank you for reading. Thank you for listening. Bon appetit. Yamas. The views and opinions stated by me or any of my guests are solely those of ours and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosting companies, distributors, enemies, friends, or relatives. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced or distributed without express written consent of the man who ate the town, that's me, and such Limited Inc. However, if you ask nicely, we'll probably let you.